Hello, citizens of Gotham. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching The Political Vigilante, streaming live on the CIA Tube, Facebook, and of course, Rockfin.com. Go to rockfin.com/Graham Elwood, a blockchain cryptocurrency platform. The only thing really keeping us afloat. I appreciate those of you who are supporting the show at Patreon. Many of you have jumped on over to Rockfin, which is actually great to see. And, there's government secrets. You can now support government secrets specifically at liberapay.com/government secrets, which is something I remember to. Kate, remind me to actually, Kate, can you send an email to Sammy and CC me just saying we need to add the LiberaPay government secrets address to the show notes of any government secrets episode. I just thought of that. I'm having a delicious iced tea, folks. I made tea this morning, made a black tea, kind of a breakfast tea with a little peach infused. I had some left over, so I put it in the fridge, and now I'm having a delicious iced tea late in the afternoon. Just splendid. Went on a bike ride this morning. It was great. Today's a cardio day. Some of you are wondering. Not a vegan gun day. Graham should license Funky Town and play it on a loop while we wait. Black tea's pretty sweet. I'm a big advocate for green tea, but sometimes you need a little more. Black tea's got a little more caffeine in it. If any of you were like, man, I drink too much coffee and I got to wean myself, step down. Go coffee, step down to a black tea, then make yourself over to a green tea. How am I, man? I pray to be happy. You are correct. I am happy. Peach infused sounds like a treat. It is a treat, ladies and gentlemen. This is the new way to support. I will put it on the screen. liberapay.com/government secrets. Many of you have been asking for, we've been doing the show over a year and they're like, we want to specifically support government secrets. This is a way to do it. That money will go to help keep that show going, and Lee and I will split it, and it's great. So check that out. And I want to thank everybody over on the Rockfin for watching Doc Terminus, MHC, and Kate, of course. Thank you so much. Whatever platform you're currently watching the show on, hit the like button and share it out on your social media. Hey, check it out, everybody. Come watch it. Come one, come all. Rock and roll. That makes no sense, but I said it. If you say something confidently, it sounds like you know what you're talking about. Come one, come all, rock and roll. Oh, that must be from something. No, I don't know. I'm just putting words together, barely constructing a sentence. It's a live, barely constructing a sentence live stream. We're barely constructing a sentence today. I don't know what I'm doing. All right. It has been fantastic. Also, for those of you who are new to this, I'm also on TikTok at Graham Elwood on TikTok. I have a bunch of videos. I put a wide variety of content on there, but here's the thing I'm very much learning about TikTok. It's funny, like it seems like TikTok based, either the algorithm and or the people on TikTok, they only want you to do one thing. Like they want your TikTok channel, your page to be one thing. Whatever that thing is, just that. Dating advice, just that. Workout tips, just that. Like that's whatever. You just got to do the one thing. Like I see these married couples that do married couple jokes. That's all they can do is just married. That's it. Just one thing. So it's kind of fascinating to see this new platform. But we've got, I've got 29,500 followers on TikTok, 678,000 total likes. My largest viewed videos were 4.1 million. 4.1 million. I've got a little stand-up clip on there. I've got me and Ron in the car, me chalking, and then just I've got some other things I put on there that I was like, oh, this is going to be so funny. This is going to go viral. Like it's like 700 views. And then I do any one of those mandate videos and they just get thousands, tens of thousands. It's amazing. Married people who cook on YouTube are the worst. Yeah, TikTok wants only one lane per person. It's interesting. Yeah, I have one video that went viral. The seatbelt video has 4.1 million views. That is now the most watched thing I've ever produced in my life. I've done 300 episodes of television. I've directed 3 feature films. I've been on all different TVs and movies and all this. Nobody has watched anything I personally produced. The only other thing that has been watched more, I believe, is that Jimmy Dore clip where me and Lee Camp and Paul Gilmartin and Steph are making fun of Barry Weiss on the Joe Rogan show. That's got like 5.5 million views or something. But the thing that I have personally produced is this TikTok video. It's fascinating. I've done this one. These ones, I don't know why these ones don't get more views, but I want to show you this. So there's this video that went around of this like this guy doing this like poetry, and it went around. It's sort of like inspirational, right? It's like about how the you got to go through, you know, crisis and turmoil to get stronger is basically what this sort of poem is about. It's about the Forest King. So I started making my own versions of this, and I thought this was hilarious, and I thought this would like, oh man, this is going to get like a 200,000 views or something. Not at all. I don't get it, but here we go.
And light had stood out in the open plain and always got its share of rain. Never became a forest king, but lived and died a scrubby thing. The man who never had to toil to gain and farm his patch of soil, who never had to win his share, the sun and sky and light and air, never became a manly man, but lived and died as he began. Good timber does not grow with ease. The stronger wind, the stronger trees. The further sky, the greater length. The more the storm, the more...
Chill out, man. It's just a forest.
Sky.
So that I was watching this video and it just made me laugh to just go, wow, this guy's so, and everyone, all the comments are like, wow, this is such great inspiration. The comedian in me like wanted to do that joke. And people loved it. The comments people loved, they think it's funny, but only got 755 views. And there's like a video I did right before that got 41,000 views. I mean, I did a Darien video that got 2,200 views. And then I did another one of these because I'm like, oh, I'm going to do a several series. And this is the other one.
Sky and air and light had stood out in the open plain and always got its share of rain. Never became a forest king, but lived and died a scrubby thing. The man who never had to toil to gain and farm his patch of soil, who never had to win his share, the sun and sky and light and air.
Dude, you're drunk. Come on, no. Every time you drink too much, you put your hoodie on and you start talking like an English lord. Bro, you're from Ohio. No, I know. We all got to be the timber and the man forged from the thing, but I'm going to need your keys. Okay.
Sky and air and light.
I just thought it was, because when I was listening, I was like, this poetry dude sounds drunk. Like a guy that's had too much to drink, that's just reading poetry at the bar. That's what I thought. It was hilarious. Again, the people that watched it loved it, but it only got 745 views. And then, you know, I do this video at the Sparks game and it gets 66,000 views. I don't, it's like, you know, like, so it's funny. Like, so TikTok just wants you to do one thing. I put clips of my stand-up on here and they do okay. But like, you know, I put a clip of Chris Hedges up here. It got 7,200 views, but like the majority of these like jokes, the mandate joke ones, they get tens of thousands of views. So I don't know. It's and stand up does okay. Stand up does okay. Just does okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's funny. I don't know if they've changed their algorithm or what, but that's what's going on with that. But you know, it's super. It's a fun platform. I'm having fun on this platform. Speech of the George Floyd protest was deep, Graham. Everyone who heard you was with you. Oh, thanks, brother. That was hey Kat, what's up? Yeah, that was powerful last summer. You know, I live streamed the actual an actual George Floyd protest, and then like the next day or two, this guy was giving a speech on the steps of the city hall in Santa Monica and said, does anyone want to talk? And I got up there and gave a speech, and thanks, man. Yeah. So thanks. So it's yeah, it's yeah, that was I'm glad they asked me to speak. You know, anyone asked me to speak, if I can add something to the whatever's going on, I will. So I was, and you know, a couple of people came up to me afterwards, and yeah. So thanks. I'm glad you liked it. I appreciate that. Hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen, and share this out on your social media. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go over to rockfin.com. Matt S. Shave your knuckles for justice. Matt, thank you for supporting us at rockfin.com/Graham Elwood. It is free to sign up, and you can tip right now what Matt is doing, and I will answer your question. You can also tip any of the videos that I have there. It's a great way to support the show. And then if you want, there's a $10 premium level where you get access to all my live streams or archives. So if you ever tuned in late and missed something, you can go back and watch all of them. There's audio podcasts. You can listen to everything like that. And then the karaoke is only on Rockfin. Matt S., you may have discussed this, but how much do you feel obesity factors into COVID morbidities? My point is the VidSOT going near those vegan guns? You know, I think it's something to it is a valid thing. Just first of all, not just regards to COVID, but America does have an obesity epidemic, and it's something to talk about, and not to shame anybody's body or anything. I'm not doing that at all, but it's a legitimate concern because America, especially again, it's the big corporations. You look at Monsanto, you look at the sugar lobby. The sugar lobby has, you know, lobbied. I've talked about this before on the show. They've lobbied, you know, politicians. And there's like, you look at them when you travel around the world, and anybody watching the show that lives in other parts of the world, you probably might notice this. But when you live in America and you travel around the world, you see several things when you go to other countries. One, everything doesn't have sugar in it. We put sugar in everything in this country. And that's because the sugar lobby can do that. And two, portion size is a lot smaller. You notice this. And I remember being like in Japan, I was like, wow, the portion size is so much more and much more fresh fruit and way less processed food. Yeah, they've got fast food there, but even the fast food, like the drink sizes are smaller. I remember just being in a Starbucks in Tokyo, and their large is like our small. I'm not joking. And, you know, and same thing at the McDonald's and the Burger Kings, their large soda is our small. So there's portion size and all that stuff. But I think we have a, you know, and having traveled through all through this country, you know, you see these food deserts where there's nothing but fast food. There's no fresh vegetables. There's not a lot of grocery stores in the area. And it's, and so people are just, their only option is all this crappy food. Now, it's not impossible to eat healthy, obviously, but it's a lot harder. And then when you have some of the public schools, the meals, the lunches the kids are getting are just unhealthy, sugary crap. Well, they'll have Coke machines in the high school or the junior high or whatever. It's like that stuff's awful for you. And so I think it factors in, just from what I've watched and some of the doctors and researchers that I've studied. Obviously, COVID attacks the respiratory system. And so if someone is dealing with obesity, their respiratory system and their circulatory system is already working harder than it would if they were at a healthy weight, right? So then you've got a disease that attacks the respiratory system, and it's then going to make it even harder. And I think I would love, to me, the big part of this pandemic is we just got to get more data. We got to get as much data as we possibly can. Data is where, and peer-reviewed data is where you find answers with science. One doctor with one study, that's not enough. It's just never enough. So I would love, and this whole year and a half, I'm like, I want to know more the people that contracted COVID and had severe symptoms, and then even of the severe symptoms crowd, the group that died. Is there anything we're finding? Obviously, pre-existing conditions, if you have autoimmune disorders, that's obviously bad. Age obviously factors into it, but I would want to know, does weight and diet, factor into this? Is there any sort of consistency? Like somebody, I find it hard to believe that if you're putting a bunch of crappy food into your body, that it's going to make it less likely for you to have severe reaction to COVID or anything like that. So the more data I'd like to get, there's a lot of data out there that, plant-based diets or just more fresh fruit and vegetables. Now, some people just say vegan, and they say, well, I remember talking to someone like, well, I had a friend that went vegan and they got all skinny and emaciated. So they just thought vegan's not healthy. It's like, well, you can be vegan and really unhealthy. If all you eat are like potato chips and vegan mac and cheese and, French fries, that are cooked in vegetable oil. Sure, that's all vegan ice cream, but it still has a high fat, high sugar content. Whereas like the chicken salad is healthier than, vegan mac and cheese or whatever. So I would really like to know more data on, because I don't think Western medicine factors into diet enough in general, in medicine in general. And I'm someone that rarely uses any sort of pharmaceutical. I rarely go to the doctor. I use all natural remedies for everything. I eat super healthy. When I feel a little sick, I take daily supplements to just keep up a healthy immune system. And I try to have fresh fruit and vegetables every day, in one form or another. And you also got to make sure you have plenty of protein. If you're going to go, especially if you're going to go vegan or vegetarian, because that's the problem. People go vegetarian or vegan and they're not getting enough protein because they got rid of meat. But I think it's a fair question. And I think it factors in. I remember early on, the early days of COVID, the first 2 months of the shutdown, the local news here in LA, they showed this photo of this young woman and they said she was like 22 or 23. And they're like, at the time, this is like late March or April of 2020. So we're literally like not like in the first month or whatever. And they're like, this is now the youngest woman to die of COVID. And they said she had no pre-existing conditions. And they showed her photo and she was probably, 70 some pounds, 80 pounds overweight. And I'm like, that's a pre-existing condition. And I think we need to talk about that, not in a mean shaming way, because food is an addiction. High sodium, high fat, high sugar foods, your body gets physically addicted to it, just like it can with drugs and alcohol, and the fast food companies know this. That's why it's extra salty, because you start eating that. I just noticed it just being on the road with, like, we try to eat pretty healthy, Ron's when I go on the road, but I hadn't been on the road in a year, and we're like driving up the middle of California and, we got to like stop on the 5 freeway to get lunch because we're hungry. And, what are the choices? Like, get a veggie Subway sandwich, like some bean and rice burrito or something, and it's all this sodium is packed in there. And then you want to eat then drink more. And then oh, I'll get a Coke Zero. It's like all of a sudden I'm just eating all this awful crap and I'm really trying hard to be healthy. So you see how addictive those, and if I haven't had sugar in a long time and I really try to avoid sugar, once I have it, then I feel like, I got to get more. And then I have this craving for sugar again. So I think, I know I'm talking about a lot of aspects of, I'm going on a wider response to your question, but yes, I do think it relates to COVID. And because I think one of the reasons America has a high death rate with COVID, it wasn't handled, in my opinion, the response to COVID has not been handled correctly. And this politicalization of masks and vaccines is really dumb. And, people fighting, bringing guns to a Capitol because they got to wear a mask and can't get their haircut it's ridiculous to me. If you don't think masks work, next time you're getting your teeth cleaned, tell your dentist to cough into your mouth. That's what I always say. If you don't think masks work, it's ridiculous. Masks have been working for decades. So it got politicized. So that's one of the reasons the numbers went higher. And then we didn't take care of our citizenry. We didn't pay everybody. Oh, here's money for rent relief and you're free. If everyone was getting paid to stay home, people would have been way more likely to stay home. But when it's like, no, I have to work, unemployment isn't enough or whatever, that exacerbated the problem. But I think there's some truth to what your question here, Matt, which is one of the reasons we might have also had high numbers is because we have an obesity epidemic. Those aren't my words. Doctors and scientists have been saying this for several years now. That America, probably at least 10 to 15 years, if not longer, has an obesity epidemic. And the medical community had to come up with the term morbid obesity because obesity wasn't enough. So it's a real issue, and it's an addiction. And I have friends that struggle with it, and my heart goes out to them, just like anyone who's struggling with any addiction, food, alcohol. I mean, sex, porn, video games, social media, just scrolling on social media, endorphins get released when you see somebody liking your video. There's a lot of stuff out there that is designed because we're capitalists to just get you addicted, and it doesn't care. McDonald's and Coca-Cola and, Snickers or whatever, they don't care about an obesity epidemic. They just only care if people are buying their product. That's the problem with capitalism. It has no thought to long-term concerns of a society, and what makes an equitable, healthy society also is healthy food. Well, thanks to Monsanto, organic food is way more expensive than non-organic food. So the food with pesticides and crap in it is cheaper. So look, you're in a capitalist system in America where you're basically, we have neo-feudal serfs. I mean, really in this country, we have the working poor. We have people who are just barely getting by. So they can't afford to go to Trader Joe's and Whole Foods and buy all this lush organic produce. It's really expensive. Again, I talk about the kid I'm a big brother to, and his mom is, she's got 6-7 kids to feed, and they eat as healthy as they can, but she can't, she can't get almond milk because almond milk is way more expensive than regular milk, so they've got it like it's really expensive to eat healthy. I mean, I can tell you from firsthand experience, it's really expensive to eat healthy. And so, you look in areas where there's food deserts and lack of access to fresh vegetables and fresh produce. And again, those areas, usually the median income isn't very high, and it's not a surprise. The lower income areas don't have less access to their food deserts, have less access to fresh produce. Oh, they have higher obesity rates. And it's got to factor in. It has to factor in. I would also, talking to a friend of mine who has a PhD in marine biology, and they have a farm, her and her husband, both PhDs, they have a farm. And so they've really studied foods and healthy foods and toxic foods, and some foods that we think are super healthy, but they're actually toxic. And they're really going into deep research on this. And I got to bug them. They're going to send me some books because I want to read more about this. And they're like, they really think a lot of this, like some of the insanity we're seeing in America, is because people aren't eating healthy food. So if you're not eating healthy, you're eating crappy food, then your brain is going to start acting like an addict's brain. And it doesn't have to be, you don't have to be on alcohol or cocaine or whatever. You can just be on really like sugary, crappy food. Just drinking Diet Cokes every day with phenylalanine in it and aspartame. Like, how awful is that crap? And so I really would love to see more research on that. But the food lobby has a lot of money. You know, they have a lot of money. So, and it's, you know, and then you've got the big pharmaceutical companies that, again, sometimes the all natural stuff doesn't work. This is my personal experience. I do the all natural remedies and they don't work. And that's when I go to like, okay, well now the all natural remedy isn't working. So now I need to go to like get a prescription. So, and in that case, that's when modern medicine is a good thing. But again, the big pharmaceutical companies are only operating on profit. So they don't want all natural remedies for stuff. They just don't. They want you to take, that's why the doctors are incentivized to just write a prescription. So I think there has to just be more data and more research on that. There just has to be. And that's not to say all medicines are bad. Now that's where I don't agree with a lot of the, you know, just anti-vax crowd, is they just think all medicines are bad. And then that's doesn't make sense, because a lot of those people that say that then take a bunch of prescription drugs for other stuff. Like, I rarely take prescription drugs. So we need more, like with anything, we need more data and more information. And I'm all ears if a doctor or scientist, but again, that study needs to be peer reviewed. And if more of the medical community comes on board with it. Now, I think there's great documentaries to watch. Forks Over Knives, Fed Up. These are some great documentaries about more fresh vegetable and plant-based diets and how they work better. And even how like the big agro business and the, you know, has pushed to say that, oh, meat's better for you, meat and dairy. When I was a kid, you know, it was one of the 4 food groups and all that stuff. So I think that's the long and short answer. Yes, I think obesity has factored into the large number of COVID deaths, especially in this country, because I don't know of a country that has a higher percentage of obese people than this country. And it's got to factor into, at least in some part, the fact that we have one of the highest COVID death rates, if not the highest. 680,000 people have died in a country of 330 million people. You know, and we have excellent medical facilities. Obviously, it's very expensive here. To get hospitalized for COVID, the average price I saw in the news is $75,000. Just something to think about. Just something to think about. So that's a great question, Matt. And I'm glad we're having this discussion, you know. It's a good question. MHC, shave your knuckles for justice. Better to have barely formed sentences of substance than the unnaturally polished toxic waste found in corporate media. Thank you, MHC. Appreciate it. Kate, what's up, Kate, our moderator? Good to see you, Kate. It has weirded me out that there are no public service announcements for tips on being healthy to fight COVID that I have seen. Have you seen any? No. And that's a wow, Kate, you bring up a great point. Like, I would love to see more data and research on this, and then exactly put out, you know, not just wash your hands and wear a mask and socially distance, but like eat healthy, get a lot of sleep, drink a lot of water, you know, cut back on the sugar and the alcohol. And I'd love to know any of this stuff of the people who died. How many, you know, were they drinking a lot? Were they drinking 2-3 glasses of wine at night at dinner? I mean, are they smoking a lot of weed? Do they take a bunch of prescription drugs on top of that? Are they doing, you know, illegal drugs? Are they smoking weed? Are they doing cocaine? Are they, you know, like, all these things have to factor into this somehow. And, you know, when the whole pandemic hit, I just doubled down on being as healthy as I could. I didn't go out to eat for 10 weeks. I only ate at home, and I just went super healthy, you know, and eat like either a tangerine or an orange or something every day. And I always bite a little bit of the peel because the peel has the most vitamin C in it, and the peels taste nasty, but I'll just bite it. And I take elderberry, I take zinc, I take a multivitamin, and I think they should really talk. They should that you're right. I haven't seen any either, Kate, and they should be talking more about that. They really should be talking more about that. They should be doing studies after study of like, people that are not eating healthy, more susceptible to negative reactions to COVID. They should talk about that. I mean, you watch some of these documentaries that I've mentioned, and there's more out there. I'm sure there's people are putting more names in the documentaries in the chat. They can link all of these health issues to our crappy food, like so much of it, and so it's a valid thing. I'd be curious about vegan meat substitutes and Impossible meat. I hear they are pure chemicals, but not sure if they are worse than real meat. That is a great question. And I've been starting to do more research. A lot of the fake, they have crap in them. Now, there's a lot of like, not just health issues, but also moral issues here as well. So an Impossible Burger is better than a like corporate Monsanto beef that's where the cattle is fed a bunch of crap. Yes, it's better than that. Grass-fed, free range beef that's not given any hormones or pesticides or any of that crap, then that grass-fed beef is probably better than the Impossible Burger. No, but if you have a moral issue with killing an animal and eating it, like I do, then you're going to probably go, that's a personal decision to make, but you might lean more towards the Impossible side. But there's actually new research out there. And again, my friends who own the farm that are, PhDs in marine biology that have done all this research. There's actually this, I forget this doctor's name because they talked about it with me, or PhD, I forget, anyway, who started to show how grass-fed beef that roams, and eats the grass on the land is actually better for the soil, because the cow manure gets put into the soil naturally and all this other stuff. And it's healthier beef, and it's healthier for the soil. It's healthier for the whole, it's a more sustainable thing in the environment than those, like when you, again, in California, you drive up the 5 freeway and you see those factory cattle farms that are nicknamed, vegetarians nicknamed them Cowschwitz. They're horrific, and they produce all this awful methane gas, and they're just the grains and the water that's used for that. So that style of beef, I would personally take the Impossible Burger over that. But there's just new research showing that these grass-fed cows and letting them roam, it's better, to eat the way it was designed. I'm very much paraphrasing a detailed study that a friend of mine told me about. So I apologize for these sort of vagueness. I'm not deliberately trying to be cryptic, but you're bringing up a good point. I mean, it's a thing for anybody is to read the ingredients, what's in there of anything you eat. I mean, obviously. Melissa H, Shaving Knuckles for Justice. Hey, doc, who was good? My doc, who was good with me being vegetarian and supplements for some of my issues, retired. Just signed up with a new doc who just started working on the practice, and her specialty is lifestyle and nutritional medicine. So grateful she is here in my town and that I was able to get her as my primary care physician. Wow, that's good to hear. Yeah, it's nice to see that there's newer doctors in medicine that are sort of, and again, I had a very, I'll give you this story. Back in the 90s, I had a prostatitis, right? I had a prostate infection. This is not it's not like a glamorous or sexy subject to talk about. And my doctor was an old school doctor, and he was a conservative. He had photos with Reagan and George H.W. Bush Senior in his office. He was but like a Reagan Republican, not a wingnut fascist that the Republican Party is now. And I had prostatitis, and I came in there, and he's like, now I can give you a prescription for this, but he goes, I think we can cure this naturally. And he's like, he was really like, I don't want to. And again, he was like in his 60s or 70s back in the 90s. He might not even still be alive anymore. But he goes, I'm going to give you this bland diet, the GU bland diet, general urology bland diet. No spicy food, no salt, no, he's like, and no chocolate, no caffeine. He goes, nothing that tastes good. And then, eat bland foods and drink a lot of cranberry juice, like when you have a urinary tract infection. And this cured it. And he was really like, and I was kind of like, oh, doc, just give me this. I was in my 20s. I was like, just give me some. And he goes, no, just try this. He goes, if you do this for 3-4 weeks and it doesn't go away, then I'll write you the prescription. And it went away. And so I've just seen that personally. And I just like finding doctors that are more in tune with that. Let's let your body heal itself first. Take these medicines. Don't eat these foods. Eat those foods. And some stuff that we think is healthy sometimes isn't good for what your body is going through at that time. And it's good to do research on this and talk to your physician about it. I'm always leery of the doctors that are just like prescription, prescription, prescription. I'm always a little leery of that. I always use it as a last resort, like a global pandemic. Thank you for sharing that with us, Melissa. Impossible Burger is full of GMOs and carcinogens. Thank you for sharing that with us. Most people don't eat veggie burgers every day. Yes. One of I think it was Forks Over Knives documentary. They said a good rule of thumb is make 50% of every meal to be raw, like an apple or a salad, like fresh, raw fruits and vegetables. And that helps your whole digestive system. And also too, like, we have such I have had to learn how to chew my food more. I know it sounds like basic, but I'm just always in a hurry. I was on the run. And it was really in the pandemic when I'm just home, not on the road. And really, I would sometimes get heartburn, whatever. I'm like, God, I'm eating so healthy. How am I thought you only got heartburn from eating like, a bacon cheeseburger. I wasn't chewing my food enough 20 to 30 times. And it's like, oh, wow. So we're in such a rush where I was just wolfing down some meal on our lunch break or running to this or that, like slow, fresher fruits and vegetables. When in doubt, go fresh. And even just like, I've had friends of mine, that weren't the healthiest eaters, but they've slowly changed stuff. So when you get the burger, they're like, God, I really like eating cheeseburgers. Okay, fine. But instead of getting the cheeseburger and the fries, get the cheeseburger and the salad or the cheeseburger and the fruit and fresh fruit, not like packaged, sugarized, blah, blah, blah. And they've noticed changes. So it's something to think about. Good, healthy diet talk. Healthy diet talk. Relearning the things we learned wrong in the past is a very important mechanism. Yeah, I know. I mean, I grew up in Wisconsin. I was a little kid, so it was like a glass of milk is healthy for you. That's what I was taught as a kid. Have a glass of milk. Humans shouldn't be consuming dairy. First of all, you shouldn't have it after you're done breastfeeding. And then what other mammal drinks another mammal's milk? Imagine if you saw like a chimpanzee nursing a cow, you'd be like, what the hell is going on? That's in essence what we're doing when we drink cow's milk. Everyone says it's too expensive, but my cripple living only on SSD and SNAP are keeps a vegan diet. I have gained 40 pounds since COVID started and still always have extra benefits at the end of the month. Oh, good to know. Well, yeah. Yeah. I guess that's good to know that you can, if you really want to shop, eat healthy, you can. That's good to know. Beyond Burger has no GMOs, no soy, no gluten, kosher, and 100% plant-based protein. Got to do your research, people. Yeah, there's a difference between Beyond and Impossible. Yeah, I always say read the ingredients. Read the ingredients. Melissa H. Shave your knuckles. Wait, no, that's not the one. Sorry. Unlearning is the hardest thing to do. Oh, I know, especially growing up in America. We're taught so much nonsense. So much nonsense. I had a feeling the meat industry was doing hit pieces on fake meat. Yeah, that's something to be careful of too. I remember a couple of years ago, they're like, "Oh, soy milk makes men grow breasts," and people kept saying that. I was like, "Well, show me the study. Where's the study?" "Oh, I heard it." You heard it. That's not. You just heard it somewhere. And I'm like, "Is that the milk industry, like the dairy industry, putting crap out there about soy milk?" Could be. Could be. Soylent Green, the alternative meat. Soylent Green is really good for you. High protein. I mean, it's humans, but don't worry about it. Don't be a baby. Just eat some Soylent Green as people. Oh, you did leave a second tip. Okay. Oh. Melissa A. Shave your knuckles for justice. Thank you, Melissa, for supporting our show at rockfin.com/Graham Elwood. I had a doc once say I was having problems with my gallbladder and he wanted to take it out without even trying diet or any other treatments to heal it. I decided not to get the surgery. Sounds smart to me. And after some time and better diet, gallbladder was good again. Be your own health advocate. Yeah, you got to know. That's another reason why I'm a big believer in like eating healthy and working out is then you really kind of know your own body. And I've had doctors say, "Oh, it's probably this." And I'm like, I don't think that's what it is. It doesn't feel like it's, and it's like, I don't know. And that's like, what's, yeah. All right, let's do a hot fresh segment. Hot fresh segment. Peach infused iced black tea. I love the word infused. It just sounds so sophisticated. It's peach infused. It's just better for you if it's infused. Infused. Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching The Political Vigilante. Please support our show. We've been demonetized on YouTube for quite a while, so sign up. You can support our show at rockfin.com/Graham Elwood and patreon.com/Graham Elwood. I wish there was more tour dates on the road, but we only could do 4 shows in California in September, so that's where it's at right now. One of the things we've talked about a lot on this show is the homeless issue, specifically here in Los Angeles. And there is a channel that I suggest you watch on YouTube called The Invisible People. And they also have an Invisible TV channel. And the homeless problem is really bad throughout California. It's really bad throughout America. There's 500,000 homeless people in America prior to the pandemic. I think that number is probably doubled, if not more. I don't know what the current statistics are, but there's no way that number went down. And in Los Angeles, it just keeps getting worse and worse. And as now the eviction moratorium has been repealed, in the next couple months, I just did a video on there's over 1 million people nationwide that are going to be evicted in the next 2 months. There's 3 some million people that are probably 2 to 6 months away from being evicted. And in Los Angeles, it is really bad. One of the things that it's really affecting is veterans. And this was submitted by Patreon supporter Eric Huso. Eric, thank you so much for supporting the show. But this is a little 3-minute YouTube video. And I want you guys to see that this is on this. This was done over the summer, like in August in Los Angeles. So this Veterans Park is right on the west side of Los Angeles, by Westwood and Brentwood and Santa Monica. And this is where the VA is. So this is the Veterans Associate. This is the VA Park. Look at all the American flags.
Here at San Vicente Boulevard at the Los Angeles Veterans Park. So you can see right across the street, veteran tents. Lots of them. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of them. You can see on the other side of the fence, inside the grounds of the Veterans Park, you can see right in there, there's some homeless tents in there. There's probably about 50, 60 maybe that are in there. I'm not sure how many they're allowing in there, why they're in there, and why these guys are outside. I have no idea, but I'll probably do some research on it anyway and get back to you at a later date on that answer. But yeah, you head down San Vicente Boulevard here, you're going to end up in Brentwood, just around the corner there.
It should be noted, Brentwood, where this is one of the wealthier parts of Los Angeles. Westwood is where UCLA is, very wealthy. Brentwood is extremely wealthy. This is right off the 405 freeway. San Vicente. This is and it, the richest country in the history of the world. And you know what these veterans need? They need housing. They don't need thank you for your service. That means nothing. That is an empty gesture. They need housing. They serve this country, all volunteer military. And this is what they get. You get a tent.
It's just, you know what it is? It's Rich City. So much money, so much going on there. And yep, just a block away, you've got the realization of homeless. Nice, expensive condos, townhomes, apartments, all in this area here off San Vicente. And again, I mean, you're paying a lot of money to live here, and you look out your window and this is what you see. I mean, something's got to be done, I mean, to satisfy both parties here, the homeless and the people that live here that spend all that money living here. But anyway, check it out. It's amazing. And again, look over the fence. Across the fence there, there's a fence across there as So, I mean, what do we do? I mean, these are veterans. These were people who fought in the wars and served our military. And even them, they're finding themselves homeless as well.
So if you're lucky, you get to move your tent inside the VA's grounds. If you're lucky. Wow. Still in a tent, but I don't know, maybe you get more access to services if you're in there. And you drive through Los Angeles, go to downtown Los Angeles. There's all these high rises, massive high rises. And I'm sure they're affordable housing and housing for the homeless. Oh, no, they're not. A lot of it is like big Chinese investors hiding money or just putting money here, or just big investors in general, big developers. Every single one of those people in that tent, in those tents, should be put in be given housing. Housing. Those are veterans. So like the American flag on the sticker, the bumper sticker and the support the troops doesn't mean crap. And both parties have abandoned the vets. They all talk tough about the vets. No, you don't. You don't care. You don't care. George W. Bush didn't give a shit. Obama didn't give a shit. Trump didn't give a shit. Biden doesn't give a shit. How many of them served in Afghanistan? Remember when Obama ran on the campaign and I voted for him, he's going to pull us out of Iraq and Afghanistan. And then he did this, up the troop count. This is December of 2009.
This review is now complete. And as Commander-in-Chief, I have determined that it is in our vital national interest to send an additional 30,000 U.S. troops to Afghanistan. After 18 months, our troops will begin to come home.
This is December of 2009. 30,000 in 18 months, which would have been summer of 2011, our troops will start to come home. So Obama promised to get everybody home 10 years ago, but she somehow couldn't figure it out. How many of those American flag draped tents outside the VA in West Los Angeles are people that served in Operation Enduring Freedom, which was the campaign in Afghanistan, served in Afghanistan or Iraq? I mean, I don't care if you were like, cleaning Jeeps in Germany and that was your time in this country. You shouldn't be living in a tent, but especially if you were in Iraq or Afghanistan and you're on the streets.
These are the resources that we need to seize the initiative while building the Afghan capacity that can allow for a responsible transition of our forces out of Afghanistan.
Good thing we did that.
I do not make this decision lightly. I oppose the war in Iraq precisely because I believe that we must exercise restraint in the use of military force and always consider the long-term consequences of our actions. We have been at war now for 8 years, at enormous cost in lives and resources. Years of debate over Iraq and terrorism have left our unity on national security issues in tatters and created a highly polarized and partisan backdrop for this effort. And having just experienced the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression, the American people are understandably focused on rebuilding our economy and putting people to work here at home.
Which he didn't really do. And he gave the banks money, $1 trillion almost, and then didn't prosecute anybody. So I just want to, what do you think? What do you think is going to happen? Right? What do you think is going to happen with this homeless issue when the eviction moratorium hits? What do you think is going to happen? Do you think we're going to have less tent cities? By the way, it should be noted, this is just the VA in LA. You drive anywhere in Los Angeles, you see tent cities. People of all walks of life, all ethnicities, some of them vets, some of them not vets. So not only do we not give a shit about our veterans, we don't care about our citizens in general at all. We don't care about them. We just don't care. This country doesn't care. So tell me, are we going to see more or less tent cities when the evictions start? And they're trying to get this infrastructure bill passed. Okay. I don't know what the particulars of it are. I'm sure there'll be some stimulus help in there, but I'm sure the bulk of the help will go to contractors in Wall Street and banks, and Goldman Sachs is going to fund the infrastructure. So they're going to get a big payday, and this shit ain't going to be addressed at all. This shit ain't going to be addressed at all. And by the way, this is Los Angeles in California, the bluest of blue, run by the Democratic Party. That's why it was such a significant thing to get Nithya Raman on the LA City Council, because she's a socialist, and the person she beat was a Democrat who gets money from developers. We're just going to let this. Obama said, I'm going to pull us out in 2011. Trump said, I'm going to get us out. Nothing. You think these two parties give a damn about you? They don't. You think the Republicans care about vets more than the Democrats? No, they don't. They give it lip service. Obama was awful. So was Trump. So was Bush. So was Joe Biden. 22 vets a day commit suicide. Gee, I can't imagine why. We treat them so well. Thank you for your service. Here's a flag on your tent. There you go. But I want to show you this information. Just who got all the money in the 20 years we were in Afghanistan? I just want to see. I want to. Who got the bulk of the money? Let's see. Who got the bulk of the money? Let's see. I wonder who got the bulk of the money. Who got? I'm just trying to figure out. I wonder if you guys know who got the bulk of the money from Afghanistan. Probably the veterans, right? Did they all just they just gambled it away? The vets didn't, they just spent their money on tents and flags. They should have invested it better. Is that what the veterans should have done? I wonder who got the bulk of the money from Afghanistan. Oh, the top 5 military contractors ate $2 trillion during the Afghanistan war. Weird. But we're taking care of our vets, right? Oh, shit. Elon Musk's growing empire is fueled by $4.9 billion in government subsidies. Wait, what? So we're giving billionaires money and defense contractors money, but we're not giving veterans money. We're not giving veterans money. I'm just trying to see if I understand this correctly. They're living in tents. There's all their tents. Look at that. Tent after tent after tent on this is like Wilshire and San Vicente. Like one of the wealthier parts of the country, Brentwood, California. Not one of the wealthier parts of LA, of the country, of the United States. Brentwood also backs right up to Bel Air. Maybe you've heard of that area. And then it's near the Pacific Palisades in Malibu. Yeah, not exactly a bunch of working class folks living a family of 4 in a 2-bedroom apartment. Not a lot of that in those neighborhoods. $2.2 trillion went to the top 5 military contractors who say Raytheon and Boeing are protecting America's freedom. But if you're a veteran, not sorry. We don't have time to take care of you. You know what we're going to do in real time? I love doing a real time thing. Let's all do this together. Okay. Since we know how the vets are being treated by this country, yeah, here's a fucking flag on your tent. Shut up. That's what we think of veterans here, by the way. Let's go to real time here. I just want to see, let's just go to a search engine. Okay. We're going to go to a search engine. Okay, there's Yahoo, right? Let's go to our favorite search engine, ecosia.org. This is a non-for-profit search engine. Raytheon CEO. Hey. Let's do this. With salary cut, Raytheon CEO was paid $21 million last year as COVID-19 slammed aviation days after the UTC merger. So this is from March of this year, 2021. So the Raytheon guy got cut down to $21 million. Oh my God. How do you survive on $21 million? Wow. What's this shithead's name? Dick Fucknut? Gregory Haynes. There's this what this asshole looks like. That's what this asshole looks like. All right. So now let's check out. Let's go to Ecosia again. We're going to just do this. Is this fun doing this in real time? Boeing CEO. Hey. So all these assholes get $21 million? All these assholes get $21 million. Boeing CEO waived pay but got compensation worth $21 million. Oh, he's so noble. David Calhoun. Boeing CEO David Calhoun declined a salary and performance bonus for most of last year, but still received stock benefits that pushed the estimated value of his compensation to more than $21 million, according to regulatory filing Friday. The aerospace giant struggled last year. Oh, boy. Like living in a tent on the street struggle, or, had to sell one of your polo horses struggle? I mean, should we get a GoFundMe for the polo horses on this asshole's Hampton spread or wherever shitbox place he lives? Were they not? Oh man, they probably weren't able to go to Vail and go skiing. Jesus, that sucks. Oh, that's so brutal. Oh, more real-time. Ecosia.org. Every search removes 1 kilogram of CO2. Northrop Grumman. Hold on. Fuck not. Don't click on that. Do what you're told, search engine. CEO pay. What's this jackwagon get? Salary.com seems to be doing a pretty decent job. Kathy Warden, CEO and president. She got $19 million. Oh, man, it's so sexist. She gets $2 million less than the boys do. That's such sexism. Man, but is she living in a tent? I wonder if Kathy is living in a tent. See this, the VP gets $6 million, and the CFO gets $6 million. The VP and president of aerospace gets $6 million. Mission Systems gets $5 million. Boy, they really pay the VPs shit. Boy, if you're a VP, you're fucked. You got to live on $5 million a year. Good luck. Kathy's got $19 million, so she doesn't give a shit. I wonder, did Kathy live in a tent? So that's what it looks like, folks. That's what it looked like. Homeless vets living in tents outside the wall of the VA. If you're lucky, you get to be inside, and then maybe you get to use a bathroom or something. I don't know what that is. So you serve this country, and we take away your dignity. That's what you get for serving America. But know this, all the defense contractors made the two winners of the war in Afghanistan, defense contractors and the Taliban. 4 presidents from 2 political parties spent $3.5 trillion for 20 years to remove the Taliban and replace them with a better armed Taliban. So now the Taliban has a bunch of American weapons that our tax dollars paid for. And so that idiots like the CEOs, Kathy and Charles and the other shitheads, get somewhere between $19 to $21 million. Good for them. But our veterans are living in tents. I hope you wake up that we are in class warfare. This is not a red state, blue state. This party's better than that party. Both parties work for the military-industrial complex. All the TV channels, Fox, CNN, MSNBC, you know who buys ad time? Boeing, Raytheon, Northrop Grumman, they buy ad time on all those channels. That's why none of those channels are ever saying like, why are we at war? Why are we spending money? Why are we why did Joe Biden just bomb Somalia and Syria twice? Joe Biden, we're going to drone strike the Taliban, and killed 11 people who were like aid workers and civilians. Joe Biden just did that last month. Trump bombed people. Trump got his war budget was increased. A bunch of Democrats in the Senate in 2017, Elizabeth Warren being one of them, voted to increase Trump's military budget. Every president since 9/11 has gotten a bigger budget than the year before. Bush, Obama, Trump, Biden. And nowhere in those military budgets does anybody say, hey, it is criminal for veterans to be living in tents. They don't give a shit. Thank you for your service. Here's a flag and a bumper sticker. That's what you get in America. Follow the money, connect the dots, get the truth. The truth is we are an out of control empire that profits from war. A handful of billionaires are profiting from war, from a for-profit healthcare system, all of it, the war on drugs. It's also a handful of people can profit. And you and I, regular people, working class people, get nothing. We get nothing. We get a thank you for your service. Boy, we'll make all these videos and songs and support the troops. But tell me if a tent with a flag is supporting the troops. If you think a tent and a flag is supporting the troops, then you're just a selfish asshole. And I don't care how many American flag wrap, whatever, eagle, truck, trap, beer can. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. You want to support the troops? You want to thank them for their service? Give them some God, give them the dignity of housing. The Democrats don't care. The Republicans don't care. You're a sucker if you think your party is better than the other party. You're a sucker. Thanks for watching. Shave your knuckles for justice. Boom. Graham's forcing healthy food and infused teas on us. Yes. Stop pushing infused teas, Graham. You're a sellout for big tea. Melissa H., Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Melissa, thank you for supporting our show. Graham, how long before the wealthy withdraw into their private security guarded compounds and get everything drone delivered? Also, those flags and homeless vets tents should be upside down. It's a great point. It's a great point. Yeah, maybe I'll go down there and tell those vets, put your flags upside down. Yeah, put your flags upside down. That's a country in distress. That's an outpost That's a military base that's in distress when you put a flag upside down. CIA rules for all. Use it or lose it. Yeah. Graham, I feel disgusting and inhumane. I almost rented a used yacht, one without a support yacht. Wow. Well, thank you for being honest about it, that you want to live in that type of filth. Renting a used yacht. I mean, that is disgusting. Just makes me want to vomit. Well, the upside down flag thing, if all those vets did that, that would get on the news. If all those veterans said, no, this is our country has abandoned us, so we're going upside down. That would get, if everyone drove by and said, what's up with all these upside down flags? People would start to go, wait a minute. You know, it's a significant gesture that a veteran is like, I serve this country. I believe in this country. I believe in America. And now this country's abandoned me. So I'm turning the flag upside down. It would be, I think it would get a lot of people to maybe wake up and do something. I don't know. America seems hell-bent on not waking up to anything and just slugging along and having these stupid fights and bitching about dumb crap like masks and whatever and fighting. You know, it's just the equivalent of just like everybody getting bent out of shape over some sports team or American Idol, or can you believe this celebrity broke up with that celebrity? It seems like that. Yeah. Yeah. Spread the word, man. If you're a veteran or know a veteran, put your flag upside down and say, I'm turning my flag upside down for homeless veterans. Yeah, do it. I'm turning my flag upside down for homeless veterans. It's preposterous. It is preposterous. I had to sell my yacht for a dinghy. Should I go stand in the corner? Absolutely, you should. God, you want to live that way? Selling your yacht. That's an embarrassment. Yeah, still no super chats on the show. You cannot do a super chat. We've been demonetized since February 1st. All right, folks, let's sing I'm going to be singing a song soon. We are in a state of distress. Yeah. I think we should, I think veterans should do this. I think all veterans, especially the homeless ones, should put their flags upside down. Yeah. I think they should. So yeah, folks, I'm gonna go sing a karaoke song pretty soon here in a couple minutes over on Rockfin. I cannot sing them on YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, jump on over to rockfin.com/Graham Elwood. It's free to sign up. There's a lot of free content over there. I'm free streaming on Rockfin right now. We do a members only premium live stream every Monday at 8:00 Pacific time. And I think I'm going to be doing maybe this week. I got to plan it out, but I want to live stream only on Rockfin Premium, Afghanistan, and we can watch it together and then do a Q&A afterwards. In light of the pullout of Afghanistan and how badly that was handled, it obviously made me I was very emotional watching all that, and a lot of comics who went over there were, of course, and what we felt is like, you know, pales in comparison to what vets felt who were served over there. So we're going to be doing that. So let's go on over to Rockfin, everybody. Thank you for watching on YouTube. So if you were watching on youtube.com, thank you so much for watching. Very much appreciate it. I will put this in their chat. Thank you, everyone on YouTube. Signing off on YouTube, go over to rockfin.com/Graham Elwood right now, and we'll do a karaoke song. We always end with the fun. We got it because we talk about heavy stuff. This is I'm still a comedian, man. I'm still trying to do like a comedy show. It's hard when you sit there and watch veterans in tents and the environment collapse and, you know, people on the verge of eviction. So we always end with a karaoke song just to lighten it up, have a little fun on the show. I'm still an entertainer yeah. So head on over to Rockfin, and everybody at YouTube, thank you so much for watching. We will be live again Thursday. We will do the game show. Anything can happen Thursday at 7:00. I will not be streaming tomorrow, Wednesday. Thursday, 7:00 Pacific time. We will do Anything Can Happen. I'm lining up guests as we speak. Government Secrets looks like is going to happen not this Friday, but Monday, which will be Monday. What's the date on the, hold on. That is Monday, the 4th at 3:00 Pacific time. We're doing Government Secrets. Lee is not available this Friday, so we'll be doing it Monday, October 4th. And maybe this Friday, early evening, we'll do the Afghanistan screening. Doesn't that sound fun? So let's call it. We'll say 7:00 Pacific time. No, 6. We'll do 6:00 Pacific time. Let's just put that in the books. So this Friday, October 1st, 6:00 Pacific time, 9:00 Eastern, I will screen Afghanistan on Rockfin. It'll be a Rockfin Premium. You have to be a Rockfin Premium member, but this Friday night, 6:00 p.m. Pacific time, I'm going to put this in my calendar. 6:00 Pacific time, October 1st. So check that out. So game show Thursday, 7:00 Pacific time, and Afghanistan screening Friday, 6:00 Pacific, only on Rockfin. Thank you, YouTubers. We'll see you over at Rockfin. Shave your knuckles for justice. You're making Gotham great again. Support our show at Venmo, PayPal, LiberaPay, Patreon, all the great ways to support our show, because we can't get money from YouTube, so we got to have the show supported somehow. Thank you.